Who is a game developer? Is he a designer, a software developer, a light and sound engineer, or an artist? Some of you might think game devs as magicians. Well, in a way it is true. Game development requires creative thinking, good visualization skills to pick up ideas from day-to-day activities and surroundings and make playable games out of it. Given the fact that AI has matured to a point where it has made solo development possible, most of the gaming engines, tools, and networking platforms are readily available for people to get hands-on experience and master their game development skills. It's quite common for a newbie to have a hard time in understanding what game design is. As per my understanding, game design has four major aspects: 2D and 3D character design, VFX lighting, environment design, and mechanics. These four aspects bring life to any game. Hello, I'm Rishi, founder of Pixel Platter and a solo dev myself. I've been designing games, creating UI UX applications, working with simulation and robotics for more than 6 years now. I'm here today to give you a quick rundown over the gaming industry, the market it caters to, game dev as a career, and talk about game development as a process in general. So without wasting time, let's get started. Tools are the backbone of any software development process. These guide you step by step till the final stage of product release and beyond it, such as how to maintain it during its life cycle. Game development adheres to this principle as well. Some of the elementary tools used in this industry include Blender. It is a 3D modeling software that allows you to design characters, assets, environment, and much more in terms of game development. Sprite design, rigging, texturing, and skinning is all covered under character design. Assets include weapons, machinery, objects, and moving platforms, which is quite common among FPS and RPG games. Furthermore, atmosphere, foliage, natural phenomena like wind and lightning falls under the umbrella of environment design. And the best part is, Blender is free and open source software which is supported across various platforms. It includes Linux, Windows, and Mac OS. When it comes to designing characters for 2D and 2.5D realm, Adobe Photoshop becomes choice for most of the artists and designers out there. For building game concepts and characters, artists use layering mechanism, which is one of the core features of the software. These characters are stored as PSD files, which can directly be imported into the gaming engines. Having said that, another option to perform this without any proprietary software is by using .png files directly inside Unity. Once your characters, assets, and environments are ready, you're good to import them into the gaming engines for further simulation, verification, and implementation of your game logic. This is a classic example from a game Tunic. Have you ever thought what brings life to any game and plays a vital role in deciding its success? Meanwhile, think about it and we'll discuss that later in the video. Let's talk about IDEs used in the gaming industry. There are plenty used. However, my personal choice being Visual Studio. Some of the developers prefer using Visual Studio Code instead, as it is an extension-based code editor which runs on comparatively lesser space and is more suitable for people working with Linux environment, where they mix and match the build chains as per the requirement. Here's a small comparison of Visual Studio and VS Code on the screen, where you can get a feel of how similar these tools are in terms of usability. Let's stick with Visual Studio for the rest of the video. Due to its popularity among the software development community and its compatibility with the gaming engines such as Unity and Unreal. For those who are comfortable working with C# and .NET framework, Unity would be your go-to tool. On the other hand, if you're planning to implement your game logic in C++, Unreal would be your pick. Here you can see how Unity provides an interactive interface where the devs can view the assets along with the scripts defining and controlling the object's behavior. One can move, pick and place the objects freely in the environment and can visualize physical objects and boundaries such as collider boxes. Those are readily consumed by Unity's physics engine. By double-clicking the script field associated with each object, one can directly access the C# script in Visual Studio. The system has been designed in such a way that the scripting is very neatly isolated from Unity's game view window, as sometimes programmers can be distracted while they are scripting due to an intermixed environment. Unity's API adheres to the latest C# and .NET versions. One can exclusively access the scripts inside Visual Studio by just opening Unity Project Explorer. Although Unity Engine's API is well documented and is readily available for the developers, Visual Studio also provides something called Unity Messaging Mechanism, which can be accessed by just using Ctrl+Shift+M, where one can find all the message types and different triggers. Those are available for the developers while designing and testing their game logic. For example, the onTriggerEnter template that allows you to detect collisions between any two collider boxes and perform the programmed actions accordingly. Also, Visual Studio provides debugging the game logic by attaching the VS Debugger to the Unity process, which is performed by attaching VS Debugger to the Unity process. This makes debugging quite convenient for programmers on the fly. Another tool used extensively by designers is ZBrush. There are other tools like Blender in which sculpting can be performed, but it can be challenging and time-consuming, as Blender is like the Swiss Army knife, which has multiple features but not dedicatedly designed for sculpting. Therefore, when it comes to high-definition models, ZBrush comes handy, as it is specifically designed to ease the sketching and sculpting process. You can compare it with a screwdriver, which is designed to perform a specific task with precision. Audio is as important as visual stimulus in the gaming industry. The sonic booms, the gunshots, the footsteps, suspense music, the voiceovers, it all spices up the gaming experience for the end user.
He is no mere titan. He is time itself, and time cannot be stopped.
Audacity is one such open source software that helps with this audio engineering. Having said that, there are a couple of proprietary alternatives explored by sound engineers. Any project starts with a concept and then gets transformed into a tangible product. In order to do this, there has to be a communication platform where one can pitch, discuss, enhance, and find constructive criticism against his ideas. Online communities and social connections are integral to the success and longevity of game dev projects. They not only provide valuable support and feedback, but also serve as powerful marketing tools. Two of the major platforms used are Slack and Discord. Let's see what each of them is offering and how are they different from one another. Slack is a valuable tool for game devs, facilitating communication, collaboration, and project management between teams. It provides centralized platform for team communication, allowing developers, artists, designers, and other team members to easily communicate in real time. Channels can be created for different aspects of game development process, such as coding, art assets, level design, marketing, and many more. Discord is quite similar to Slack. However, it is specifically designed for gaming communities. Some of its features include real-time communication, playtesting and feedback, file sharing and collaboration, integration with development tools such as GitHub, GitLab, etc., voice chat for remote collaborations, community building activities by creating dedicated servers, and other security and privacy features. However, while choosing among these two, few things should be kept in mind. Discord can sometimes be overwhelming for simpler tasks where Slack takes the lead, as it excels in professional environment, clean interface, and is a robust communication tool. One has to find out the right choice depending on the use case. It could be choosing one over the other, or using both hand in hand. Firstly, let's talk about Godot, which is renowned for its lightweight nature. Its intuitive user interface and multi-framework support, which includes robust scripting language such as GDScript and C# utilizing well-established .NET framework. Its active repository provides handy assets, templates, and packages to assist the developer. Godot has significantly aided the development of many indie games. Even though Godot is quite popular, its weakness lies in 2D physics, making it less proficient in this aspect as compared to other freeware gaming engines. On the other hand, game developers who prefer using C++ as a programming language often choose Unreal Engine over others, as it enjoys widespread acceptance in the market and also offers a highly sophisticated simulation environment. Finally, turning to Unity. It stands out as the most commonly used gaming engine among all others. This is largely due to its comprehensive package, including an editor and simulator, coupled with its vibrant online community, which is notably more matured compared to the others. For my game development series and future videos, I'll stick with Unity as the development environment. Here you can see how a grey box of any game is built in Unreal. Firstly, you focus on getting the layout and composition right, as it will set the tone of your game environment. You can speed up the process by using the pre-built assets from the grey box kits available online. In order to keep the development simple and efficient, dynamic lighting can be used. This is done so that you can avoid distractions caused due to light bakes. Then slowly you get your environment up and running. Thereafter, you start navigating the maps in order to find areas that require attention and further improvement. And yes, that's how you build your environment. Kudos to that. Moving on, here's another example of getting a feel of game development inside Unity. One can see how Mario 2 and its game logic is being replicated. It starts off by programming the controller script for the game objects, which might include using function templates like start, update, fix update, etc. Thereafter, in order to make the animation and visual effects more attractive, tire smoke effect is added up by using a combination of various types of particle effects provided inside Unity. Also, one can further enhance the look of the object animation by adding up the burning exhaust to the car nozzles. Again, in order to speed up the development, any online pre-built racing kit can be used, which comes with pre-built racing tracks. Furthermore, if you want to have a look and add to this existing project, kindly refer the description box where I have provided GitHub link for this repo. Categorizing games based on dimensionality. There are three major types: 2D, 2.5D, and 3D. It's widely acknowledged that as the dimensionality increases, the gaming experience becomes more realistic and relatable. However, there are exceptions to this rule. Games like Ori and the Blind Forest serves as a prime example of a 2D game, offering users a remarkable gaming experience. Ori is a young guardian spirit who lives with his adoptive mother Naru in the forest of Nibel. This whole game revolves around a catastrophic storm that withers the forest and leads to the death of Naru. Therefore, Ori goes on a mission to find the elements of water, warmth, and wind to restore the forest, and meets many friends and foes along the way. Such a catchy storyline, don't you think? Well, moving on, when we talk about level and system design, it includes things such as interaction, navigation of the character from step to step, leading to new stages. It also covers up designing of hurdles and traps, which makes the game more interesting. Another important aspect of any game is its boss characters. You've got amazing bots and villains of the game that enhances the gaming experience. Boss characters and bots play vital roles in game development, contributing significantly to gameplay experience and overall success of a game. VFX in games are the computer-generated effects that bring life to game worlds and add excitement to gameplay. These effects include explosions, smoke, fire, water, particle effects, and more. They create a sense of realism, impact, and excitement in the game. Finally comes one of the major spotlight of game design: mechanics. These are the rules that govern and guide the player's action, as well as the game's response to them. Mechanics decide the feel of any game, how realistic the controls and interaction of the game components with the environment is, which in turn becomes a deciding factor for a game being hit or not doing well. Next in line, we have 2.5D games. Venture to the Wild is a spooky 2.5D Metroidvania, set in the strange town of Rainybrook, which has been overrun by a mysterious entity known as the Wild. The main character comes in contact with the devil when he and his friend Ella were out in the woods. This encounter introduces a part of the monster in his body via his hand. This gives the character the ability to change his hand into a vicious claw. He discovers the absence of his friend. During his search for his friend, he comes across many monsters and enemies. The entire storyline adds intriguing hook to the narrative. This game gives you a feel of depth and rich experience without being as compute and graphics intensive as full-fledged AAA 3D games. One of the main points about this game is its dynamic weather and changes in daytime, marking the location and timeline where the characters appear. The players come across a variety of quests, giving a sense of accomplishment. Now coming on to 3D Realm. Dota is one such game that falls under this category. It's a multiplayer 3D AAA game which has matured with time. Currently, it's played as Dota 2 and has huge fan base. Dota 2 is a fantasy-style game consisting of 2 teams of 5 players. The teams occupy opposite ends of the map and compete to destroy each other's bases and lane towers. Players control characters known as heroes, who all have different abilities and can grow more powerful during the game. Here are a few characteristics of Dota 2. Starting off, we have multi-character. This game has about a staggering array of 124 unique heroes, each boasting their own distinct strengths and abilities. The excitement never stops as developers continually introduce fresh updates, unveiling new heroes and enhancing existing ones with additional skills and power. Another area where the developers of this game have done a really good job is the cinematic skills and the spellcast of heroes. When you play this game, it prepares you to be dazzled by the stunning graphics that truly immerse players in the gaming experience. From visually captivating effects to essential features like attack speed and realistic cooldown times, every aspect contributes to the dynamic gameplay. Expect thrilling moments of recoil and other cinematic elements that elevate the excitement. Moving on, this game provides to learn strategies. Master the art of strategic gameplay with tactics like ganks and clever hero combinations. Keep your opponents guessing with unexpected maneuvers that can turn the tide of battle in your favor. Whether you're playing a coordinated assault or springing a surprise on the enemy team, strategic depth is the key to victory in this game. Players also get time to communicate with each other, as communication is a deciding factor when it comes to the gameplay. Players stay connected with the team members through effective communication tools like pings and messaging, whether you are playing locally or in multiplayer mode. Teamwork is essential for success. Coordinate your moves carefully and be ready to assist your teammates as you work together towards victory. One of the reasons why Dota has gained such a popularity in the gaming industry is due to the initiatives such as Dota International. Dota 2 International Tournament attracts teams and players from all around the world, making it a truly international event. Competitors come from diverse gaming communities, showcasing a wide range of skills and strategies. Plus, they learn from each other. Another driving factor for new players to join this community is the massive prize pool. The tournament offers a substantial prize pool, often reaching to millions of dollars, and attracts attention from esports enthusiasts worldwide. A game platform is a digital environment where users can access, purchase, download, and play video games. A significant portion of gaming industry's revenue comes from console games, VR games, PC games, and mobile platforms. 3 primary platforms currently dominating the console game market includes PlayStation, owned by Sony, second one being Nintendo Switch, then comes Xbox, which is managed by Microsoft and holds a significant share. Next in line are PC and desktop games, which encompass a wide range including both indie and AAA titles. These games can be further categorized into multiplayer games, open world adventures, and various other genres. WebGL stands out as another platform where individuals host their games on servers, making them accessible to the public via the internet for online gameplay. The infrastructure backing such games has matured significantly over time. Various releasing platforms such as Epic Game Launcher and Steam serve as hubs where numerous games are advertised, launched, and released on a daily basis. Lastly, mobile platforms also command a significant share of the gaming industry's business. These platforms primarily revolve around iOS and Android operating system. With an emergence of AI, another segment of gaming platform is on the rise, AR/VR. Major players like Microsoft and Sony are already capitalizing on this opportunity. Now let's talk about game development as a process. As per my understanding, the entire game dev process could be described using an acronym DPRM, where D stands for direction, P stands for production, R stands for release, and M stands for marketing. Game direction provides a sound foundation that is needed to avoid design from getting derailed. A solid game direction is the requirement for most of the games. It remains crucial for all type of games since it acts as a lighting guide for decision making. It has two components, game pillars and thematic structure. Together, they define your target game experience. The most important thing you need to remember is game direction should never contain game content. Its purpose is to describe the experience you want a game to generate and not actual game itself. Game direction represents a space of possible game scopes. It gives autonomy and purpose to your game design. Few ideas to effectively create a solid game design without getting stuck on endless refinement includes: focus on the game design document, which has 4 major elements: vision statement, game overview, uniqueness, and similar game comparisons. Explore your game idea. Define the game pillars. And finally, evaluate your game idea. A well-crafted game direction is the best tool to navigate the often scary game design ocean. The production stage of game development is when your studio takes the concepts created during pre-production and turns them into source code and various assets. It's where the bulk of your time, effort, and resources go. During this stage, several teams work in parallel. Game testing is a continuous loop where testers and users provide feedback, and the dev team perform the changes accordingly. There are 7 different types of testing in the gaming industry. Starting off, it's functionality testing, combinational testing, exploratory testing, compatibility testing, clean room testing, play testing, and regression testing. Game testing forms the backbone of quality control for any game. Now let's talk about the release part of this process. Here's a game dev checklist that could be referred before releasing any game. Encrypting data and game code, high-level authentication, regular security checks on your data protection mechanisms, controlling data sharing within apps. While releasing a game, one must try to find a suitable time considering all the factors such as the demographics of where the game is being released, holiday seasons, targeted age group, etc. Platforms which can be used for launching games include Steam, Epic Games, Core, etc. Bad marketing for a good game can turn a good game into a flop. That is why game marketing is the key to success. With so many games available to consumers, it's essential to have a solid marketing plan to ensure your game stands out from the rest. How you do that? By building hype, creating trailers, engaging with potential players, and conducting events globally. These events provide a stage for developers and game studios to showcase their work among the audience. In addition, marketing a game involves a variety of methods, including social media, email newsletters, influencer marketing, demos, and beta tests. Here's a glimpse of few events hosted across the globe. If you guys are interested to know more about this year's upcoming gaming events, feel free to check the description box below where I have shared the link for each one of them. You remember, I asked you a question in the beginning of the video. What is the key element that decides whether the true experience of your gameplay goes through or not? Well, as per my experience, character and its platform controller decides how well it will interact with the game environment, which in turn determines the satisfaction and realism experienced by the player. Now let's see an interactive example designed by Tarodev using Unity and WebGL. Here are a few tricks when implemented inside the platformer controller makes it highly responsive and realistic. Variable jump height. This is achieved by adding additional downward force when the player releases the jump button, based on which the height of the jump varies each time depending on when was the jump button released. Apex modifier. When the character reaches at the apex of the jump, it is given anti-gravity and negative speed boost, which improves the control and landing capabilities of the character. Jump buffering. It gives you the ability to queue up the next jump even before landing. This feature is useful when player has to perform multiple jumps in succession in order to perform a game action. Coyote time. It allows you to execute the jump even few milliseconds after your character has left the platform. Clamped fall speed. Having no control over falling is not desirable in almost all the situations. Therefore, clamping the speed during the fall makes it easy for players to dodge obstacles and helps in landing the desired location. Edge detection. Nudging the character in the direction of intent when it encounters the edges by mistake. This feature is handy for both edge detection and ledge catching. Finally, juice. This provides a cool look to the character when it's moving across the platform. I'll try to make a detailed video explaining all the above parameters with the code example and also brief about how they are important for enhancing the player's experience. I've also shared links to the Tarodev's GitHub repo where you can find the source code and the controller script along with the web-hosted platformer in the description box below. I hope you guys now understand the impact of characterization in any scene or a game. Characterization is not a concrete idea. Rather, it's an abstract. Beauty behind it lies in the creativity of designer. For those of you who really love to play games, like challenges, and want to learn more about game design as a career, feel free to join my upcoming series on game development. I'd really appreciate if you could subscribe and hit that bell icon so that I could feel motivated and bring more quality content in my future videos. Also, I have shared my LinkedIn, Instagram, Discord servers, and GitHub handles in the description below. Feel free to connect. Looking forward to embark on this journey of game development with you guys.